So I'm delighted to be joined now by former lightweight champion of the world, Anthony Crolla. Anthony, thanks a million for taking the call.
No worries. Thanks for having us, mate.
Anthony, we'll get to your own plans shortly, but I know you were in attendance at the Ray Moylett fight on Friday night. What did you think of Mayo?
Yes. Listen, I love the place. People are lovely. I just think it's lovely when you're all the place and you're all at a place and, random people, you get talking to them as well. Welcome to County Mayo. And I just know they're lovely people, and I'd certainly love to be back there again. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the atmosphere, sure you was there, was fantastic. I didn't get the result I was hoping for Ray, but he done himself very proud. Headlined the bill back at County Mayo. Atmosphere was unreal, and he can come again. He can come again. He lost to a good opponent in a great fight.
Yeah, and I know you boxed in Dublin a few years ago. Would you have spent much time in Ireland before?
To be honest, I've only ever been Dublin, around Dublin. So it was my first time in the west of Ireland, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm definitely going to get back. Sligo, obviously County Mayo.
Yeah.
And just around there, I see friends, family around there, so it's a good excuse to get over. But no, I love the place, genuinely did.
Good stuff. And in terms of the Ray Moylett link-up itself, how did that come about initially, Anthony?
Well, it was Ray was over, and he was getting bits of sparring in over in Manchester, around England, really, and someone mentioned it. And so he come to the gym, we've done some rounds, and Joe fought, and I fought it as well. Stylistically, he had some traits of my last opponent, so we said to Ray, if we're in touch, we'd bring you over for sparring, pay to bring you over, and that's where it went from. And obviously become good mates with him since. He's a great lad, Ray. I think anyone who knows Ray, it's hard not to like him. And that's where it's gone from. So straight away, I was like, I'm going to get out there to watch him. Ray looks after us, and everyone did the open motions. Everyone looks after us, so I can't thank them enough or speak highly of them enough. But like I say, it's a good excuse to get back because the show was packed out there Friday night. So there's no reason, a great venue as well, why there can't be more boxing there.
Yeah. And in terms of the sparring, what was the sparring like, Anthony? Was it competitive?
Great sparring. Obviously, with Ray, it was a little bit heavier when we were sparring. He says this is, I might be after, man. You've seen him over in Manchester, he'd lost the weight, and it was Ray's first time in making that weight in a number of years, and I know a lot of people were talking about that. I mean, ideally, he would have had a fight at that weight before such a tough one on Friday, but sometimes with the opportunity, that happens. I do believe Ray's a lightweight, and he'll, like I said, he lost to a good opponent, and there wasn't a lot in it. He can come back with experience, and I still believe Ray Moylett's just one to see. He's got a very bright future, and he's got a great team behind him, and the support of his hometown. He can definitely go on.
And I know you had a couple of setbacks earlier in your career, and you came back and
of course
came on strong and won world titles. What would your advice be to Ray at this stage in his career in terms of moving forward?
Listen, I had setbacks at a much lower level than what Ray did at an early stage, and probably an early stage. By this time, I'd probably had a few defeats at a lower level than what Ray got defeated at on Friday night. It's for me, and hopefully now, and I believe it is a little bit, the emphasis on keeping that all in boxing has gone a little bit. And I said to him, texting this today, it's rest up, spend some time with the wife, friends, family, a few weeks, and then get back on it on the new year. And that's believe what he's got to do. You get back on that horse. That's what Ray's very talented. You saw what he's done as an amateur. It was a hard fight on a Friday night, but he's not been in wars as a professional fighter where he's put serious miles on the clock. So, he lives well. And I think get him back in the gym straight away in the new year, and then look for a date in March, get him out, 1 or 2 fights, and that's a rematch there. Maybe not in March. I'm sure Ray won't have a problem with it. But that's a rematch there later in the summer or later in the year. Another big night in County Mayo. Yeah,
and it was a tough fight on Friday, and you're about a month on now from a tough fight of your own with Dodd Jordan. You must have been delighted to come away with the win after a tough battle like that.
Yeah, I was really pleased. Great opponent, Dal Jordan. He's been at world level for a number of years, and you mentioned before the sparring with Ray. It come in really handy. And Ray said, as soon as he seen us, me and Joe Gallagher, he said the fight went exactly how you said, and it did. It did. So although it was a tough fight, and I had to work, I won most rounds, but I had to work hard in each and every round to do that. I mean, and I think Dow Jordan, he's still be coming at me now if the bell hadn't gone. He was so determined. Yeah. But I just believe my better boxing brain and punch variation was the difference on the night. And obviously that's the final eliminator. It sets me up nicely for a world title shot. So yeah, of course, I'm very pleased.
Yeah, and that was obviously another fight in front of a packed arena in Manchester, your hometown, and Ray spoke about the pressure he felt fighting in front of the Mayo fans. Is that something you enjoy? Do you relish fighting in front of your hometown? Do you enjoy that kind of pressure?
I think I do. I really do. It's a nice pressure to have. I always think, and I think most boxers will tell you this, as a young kid, you're watching the boxing, you're going to the big shows, you dream of headlining them one day. So I always think, when I do get a little bit nervous, I think, there's hundreds, thousands of boxers over the years who would love to be in your position headlining a show. So, in a way, be thankful for it. Be thankful for it. There's nothing wrong with feeling those nerves and a bit of pressure, but you've got to be thankful for it as well. And you work hard for those nights as well. So you're in. If you're not, it comes with the territory. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna feel a bit of pressure, nerves, the weight of a nation, the weight of a city, whatever it may be, on your shoulders. But I try and embrace it and be thankful, because I know boxing's a short career, but when those nights have gone, you'll miss them daily.
And that win last month sets you up for a fight with Lomachenko now, Anthony. Did you get a chance to watch his fight at the weekend?
Yes, I watched it, and listen, he's unbelievable to watch. Unbelievable fighter against Pedraza, who for me is very, very good. For some reason, he's remembered for his other defeat to Gervonta Davis, where I believe he's a bit weak at the weight. I think he's a class fighter, and he's shown that by winning the world title, beating Ray Beltran last time out. And I thought he gave a great account of himself, Pedraza did. But yeah, listen, the fight with Lomachenko, hopefully it can happen sort of into spring 2019. And people, obviously, they have their opinions and stuff, and, so be it, they're entitled to it. But it's a fight that I really hope happens, and I can't wait for it. I'm not stupid, I know how tough of a fight it would be, but it's a fight I'd love to have. And people might say, oh, is it just a payday? Listen, I'm not going to lie, the payday would be nice. It'd be a career best payday. It'd make things a little bit easier for my family. But it's much more than just a big payday. So I go in there believing I can shock the world. And listen, I know how tough it'd be. I know I'll be up against it. But boxing can be a strange old sport at times. Styles make fights, and I can't wait for that fight if it's to happen. It's looking promising at the minute, but we just have to wait and see.
And you mentioned there Pedraza, like a top class operator in his own right, and he gave Lomachenko a bit of trouble with that pressure, and it's proved that Lomachenko is human. He can be got at. Have you already got an idea in mind in terms of how you'd go about that job, Anthony, if it does come around?
No, well, we've not. I mean, I've not sat down with Joe yet and think, right, this is how we're going to go about doing it. When I've been back in the gym, we've sort of been working on certain shots. So, we know roughly what we're going to try and do. But, like you say, Pedraza a great success on Saturday at times. But then at the same time, Lomachenko's shown, we all know how versatile he is, so that there's nothing new there. But I think the hardest thing preparing for Lomachenko is the movement. And that's something he does unbelievably well. So I think we have to try and find an answer for that.
Yeah, and we mentioned there how much you love fighting in front of your hometowns or home fans in Manchester, and that would, needless to say, be another packed out arena at the Manchester Arena. Is it realistic that fight would take place in the UK, or is it more realistic that you'll go to the US? I
think it's probably slightly more realistic that it'd happen in the States. So it'd be a nice away day for everyone. I know some of the friends there are happy with that. But wherever it may be, I know you saw the atmosphere, what happened in the arena. Obviously, his good friend Usyk last time at the arena, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind either way. But I think if the fight's to happen, it'd probably be more unlikely over in the States. But we'll see. Like saying, I'm just ticking over. I know, obviously, he mentioned Mikey Garcia on Saturday, but Garcia's not fighting till the middle of March, so that's not going to happen till at least the summer. So obviously, I'm sort of waiting. I'm mandatory for the title. So I'll see when his team get back in touch. You know what the next step for them will be, but I'll be ready whenever I get the call. I'll be ready for the fight.
Yeah, and he's obviously got a few different obligations in terms of mandatories, I think. Are you likely to fight again before that fight comes around, or are you just going to wait out?
It depends. If it looks like, you know, we might fight summertime, then yeah, I'll fight before it. But I'm not sure. I should know a lot more in the next few weeks, sort of around Christmas time, and sort of take it from there, really, to be honest. But no, of course, if he's not going to fight till the summer, I don't think it'd make sense for me to just sit around and wait. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll sit down with my team and see which route we're going to go.
Yeah, great stuff, Anthony. Just a couple more quick points. I know big fight at the weekend between Canelo and Rocky Fielding. Are you giving Rocky much of a chance in that fight, or what would be your advice to him going into that fight? It's
a tough fight. Probably people would say it similar as to what if I fought Lomachenko, maybe slightly more so. It's going to be such a tough night. But one thing Rocky Fielding can do is punch. I know that he certainly can punch. He's heavy-handed. But your only worry is then is Canelo took bombs off Triple G for 12 full rounds. So, listen, I think like sort of almost everyone over it. I'm going to be rooting for Rocky big time, but it is a tough ask. A really tough ask. And he's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose whatsoever in the fight. Again, he'll be getting well looked after. But it'll be a tough night. You've got to favour Canelo in a big way.
Yeah, and one last point, Anthony. I know there's another big battle on Sunday between Liverpool and Man United. Are you fancying United to do the job at Anfield?
Hey, I'd say I'm looking forward to going, but I'm not sure I am the way they're playing at the minute and the inconsistency of us. It's going to be tough again. But I always look forward to it. The atmosphere is always great. It's a real sort of passion. I think it's the biggest rival, without a doubt, in English football. So I look forward to being there. And not many things please more than coming away from Anfield with 3 points. But it'll be tough on Sunday. I'd take anything. So it'll be a point. Listen, I'd take Jose Park in the bus and coming away with a point just to frustrate them. That's a sign of times, but yeah. It's always good going on field, but coming away with a result there, it don't get much better.
Well, great stuff, Anthony. Thanks a million for taking the call, and hopefully
Thanks for having us. Take care, and look forward to getting back over soon.